Good morning, CPI. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. Whether it's morning, noon, or night, or evening, whatever. I do want to start making more messages about inspiration and encouragement from some comments a member has said in our book club meeting here in LA, and I think it's important that we encourage each other as well as inform each other when we come across certain information. But I think encouragement is good too, and inspiration, and in some ways might even actually be more important than information, education, because especially in these crazy times. I mean, I've had conversation recently with someone who still believes Trump can do no wrong, that Khomeini was a murderer, he brutally killed so many of his own people, and somehow there's just not a genocide going on in Palestine. So there's still those that are in that delusional sense, just as we saw, during Russiagate and the denial of the real questions to be asked about the COVID vaccine, all of that, that mostly came from the left, so to speak. And again, sometimes it might even be better to not even focus so much on that stuff, be aware of it, but just kind of move on. And as a group, I do feel CPI is like the cream of the crop, as far as education, understanding issues, the way we work together, which we can always do a better job of. I'm not going to deny that. I think if we really are the role models in every way, that in the long run will benefit the group and all of us individually, because you give credit where the credit is due, as well as show the information that we are on the correct side of history, that we work together and we set aside egos, or I should say overemphasis on ego. I understand, as I've mentioned in morning messages before, and even on my television show, it seems we do need some ego to get out of bed in the morning and to keep going throughout the day, but beyond that, it can be a problem in any group, even ours, and I do consider CPI the cream of the crop. So it's always good to have a check and balance on myself, so I'm going to look at the whole thing as with a check and balance attitude, and try to be still loving about my ideas and feelings. And it's hard to share constructive criticism. Sometimes it's hard to take constructive criticism, but it's important to do that. Just keep in mind that if the ego gets in the way in any way, shape, or form, it can be a problem, and that is something that we can all learn from too. And we shouldn't get carried away because we are the cream of the crop. We shouldn't get, cocky about that. I've seen that in the music business, where certain people will say, well, I know I'm at the top of the food chain, or I'm a better musician, technically speaking, or I've literally had a conversation with a jazz musician who said when he was younger he was very cocky about playing anything other than jazz, and he realized over the years that if he was going to have a fulfilling life to where he could even play music, the kind of music that he liked the most, he was going to have to keep his ego in check and just kind of realize that you got to be open-minded, and not overly self-critical, but at the same time, humble. And other words I like are empathy, compassion, humility. Those are all great words. Anyway, I'm already at 5 minutes, so just want to share a few thoughts this morning, and I'll try to keep inspirational, hopeful messages as top priority when, especially at times like this, when we really do need hope and inspiration and each other to share ideas with, and keep it in check, right? Have a great day.